Hello, and welcome to the final Overthinking Eurovision of 2017. We're getting ready to break apart this set and put it up on eBay. I'm Matt Rather. Well guys, Eurovision 2017 was a hell of a show. We saw a man with a horse's head perched menacingly on a ladder, we got a lesson in the post-duet kiss, this is the right way, and this is the wrong way. And we saw that guy's butt. By the way, it turns out that the streaker is a famous Ukrainian prankster named Vitaly Sedyuk, who has previously kissed Will Smith, broke Brad Pitt's glasses, and rushed the stage at the Grammys. I have no idea how he got hold of my bucket list. But I think we at Overthinking It will always remember this as the year Eurovision reminded us that we know nothing. Because one thing we were sure about before the show is that Portugal's song didn't stand a chance of winning. We all agreed it was a beautiful composition. We all agreed that Salvador Sobral is a mesmerizing performer with the voice of an androgynous angel. But this was simply not the kind of song that won Eurovision. Now, sure, as you all love pointing out in the comments, we're Americans who maybe just don't understand Europe. I will admit, for instance, that I don't get how stoppage time works in soccer, or excuse me, football. But seriously, why don't you just pause the clock when someone gets injured? We certainly weren't the only people who thought they knew what a winning Eurovision song sounded like. Only last year, the Interval Act offered up a recipe for success. A folk instrument, drums, a violin, a DJ, acrobats, crazy costumes, and a bland title like Love, Love, Peace, Peace. That said, Love, Love, Peace, Peace is a pretty catchy song. Amar Pelos Dois broke all the rules. There was no crazy costume or fancy staging. In fact, Salvador didn't even stand on the stage itself. It was just him at a mic, singing a jazz ballad that sounds like it could have been written 80 years ago. Your grandparents could have danced to this song before Grandpa shipped off to World War II.
So the rumor is the Navy's shipping us to Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, wouldn't be so bad. It's about as far from fighting as you can get.
Salvador was obviously deeply inspired by Portugal's former colony, Brazil. This song reminds us more than a little of the legendary Caetano Veloso, which is why this is so mind-blowing.
I'm watching Eurovision Festival, and I wish Salvador Sobral wins.
That is Veloso himself endorsing Salvador's song. This would be like if Radiohead endorsed your rock song, Bob Dylan endorsed your folk song, or Weird Al Yankovic endorsed your food-themed pop song parody. The fact that a world-class musician like Veloso would give his stamp of approval to a Eurovision song is kind of astonishing, because when most people think of Eurovision, they think of something like this.
Give me your body, let's write a story.
Now, in retrospect, you could see this trend beginning last year. Jamala's 1944 was certainly artistic and reflected a unique musical subculture, but at the time, we thought that its victory was largely due to anti-Russian sentiment. Now, it looks like a sign of Eurovision voters changing tastes, away from pop and back towards more traditional songs in national styles. In Salvador's victory speech, he cast a little shade on the rest of the competitors. I want to say that we live in a world of disposable music, fast food music without any content. Music is not fireworks, music is feeling. So let's try to really change this and bring music back. Okay, first of all, Firework is actually a pretty good pop song. Hashtag sorry not sorry. Secondly, I certainly don't agree that the rest of this year's competitors aren't incredibly talented and passionate musicians. Wait, did I just get that double negative right? My point is, I agree with Salvador that music is feeling, but feeling comes in many forms. The sheer joy of Romania's yodeler, the angst of Hungary's Romani rapper, the sexual strut of the Swedish suits. And that's why I'd argue that Portugal's victory is a very good thing for Eurovision, even if you weren't a fan of this particular song. In the past, everyone thought that if you wanted to win, you had to sing in English and get the Swedes to write your hook. But next year, the sky's the limit. If something this artistic and surprising and authentic can win both the jury voting and the televoting, then maybe countries can send who they really want to send, not who they think they need to send. So Europeans, thanks for showing a surprising amount of taste and proving that Eurovision is more than love, love, peace, peace. though it's still a catchy song. Now comes the awkward part. One of our reviews was about the UK's song Never Give Up on You, and certain predictions were made. I don't know if it's possible to get less than 0 points, but we are going to find out. And I still contend that this was a decent prediction. When the UK had come in 24th place 2 years in a row. Then there was the Brexit thing. And honestly, we didn't like the song. But you guys clearly kinda did. It came in 15th, which by UK standards is a goddamn miracle. So I don't really get it. Apparently you're not bitter about the Brexit thing, which is pretty big of you guys. Anyway, we are sorry we doubted you, UK. To apologize, I'm going to eat an entire plate of the London delicacy, jellied eels. Some of a plate. Before we close the books on Eurovision 2017, it's time to present the Overthinking It Awards. We hosted a viewing party in New York City and a couple hundred people showed up. Everyone who attended got a ballot to vote on 5 categories. And here are the winners, according to a bunch of European expats and a couple drunken Americans who wandered in accidentally and couldn't take their eyes off the screens. Most unexpected, Croatia. You could almost hear jaws dropping around the world the first time Jacques switched to his opera voice. And can we just point out that although we got the UK thing wrong, we totally called having Jacques constantly turning around during his song. Most cultural pride, Hungary. This checked all the boxes. You got the native language, the costume, the dancer, the violin, even that jug thing that he played for like 10 seconds and then forgot about. Best staging, Sweden. I feel like performing on a treadmill during a live show broadcast to 200 million people certainly deserves an award. And if there had been a hottest dude category, Robin would have run away with it. You know, if you happen to like guys with hair. Best costume, Italy. Francesco kind of underperformed in Kiev. After being a heavy favorite to win for months, Occidentali's Karma sort of ran out of karma and only managed 6th place. To put that in perspective, it was handily beaten by Epic Sax Guy. But Italy, if it's any consolation, the people at our viewing party deemed your gorilla suit the best costume of 2017. Allez! And finally, the award for overall favorite. While you Europeans voted for Salvador's intricate and subtle ballad, New York City went a different direction.
Don't let go, let it flow. Ready nel miracolo.
In our defense, our country recently elected a president who once participated in WrestleMania. And our best hope for defeating him might be another guy who once participated in WrestleMania. So take our opinions with a grain of salt. Still, congratulations, Croatia. Before I sign off, I'd like to acknowledge a person without whom these videos would not be half so polished, so thoughtful, or so funny. Matthew Belinkie is the producer of Overthinking Eurovision, also the main writer, the editor, and the special effects guru. And for the record, Mr. Belinkie says that Occidentali's Karma will have a special place in his heart and on his jogging playlist for many years to come. Well guys, that does it for Eurovision 2017. But the good news is we've got just 2 months to get psyched for the first ever Eurovision Choir of the Year competition. And this is not a joke, guys, nor is it some beautiful dream. This is very real. And across Europe right now, these talented singers are sweating through their robes to get ready. Will it be Hungary's Bela Bartok male choir? Will it be Denmark's academic choir of Aarhus? Whatever it is, I know we're not going to be hearing the same old tired Palestrina motets. No, we are going to be hearing the modern tintinnabulum of Arvo Pärt. We're going to be hearing the advanced chromaticism of Carlo Gesualdo. This is going to blow your minds, everybody. I cannot wait until the baton finally drops on the Eurovision Choir of the Year contest. I'm so excited. Why do I sound angry?